Right then, hello everybody. Welcome back to the one, the only Me Slappin K-pop podcast. I'm here with Kayla.
Hello.
And Sammy.
Hello.
And now we're on another journey deep down into the ocean, Arctic waters of this K-pop iceberg, down to the 4th tier now.
We're halfway there.
We are there.
We're halfway done.
There. We're getting
this is
there.
Probably. Also, Marie, I think you do the funniest intros.
I think
Do
the
I?
best you do. The last one you did, you sang a song, which was really fun.
Yeah.
So
I think you
it's
do the
one of
most
those
fun
days.
intros.
I try to, because you know what? You gotta have some fun at some
You have some
point.
fun in life.
You
gotta,
put some fun in the
like,
K-pop scandal iceberg.
Exactly.
Yeah,
even
because
though-
it's not like we're
yeah.
going to be talking about super Look, overall, this one's depressing. You
One
know?
of them is
pretty
one
sad.
of them's really depressing.
One
the
is
rest
really
of them
depressing.
really
not
depressing.
so
The
much
rest are
depressing.
more just people
the rest
making
are just
bad
more like
choices.
ooh, tea.
I think the
yeah.
theme here is people making bad choices in life.
Yes.
That's the theme. Bad or questionable life choices.
Yes.
Essentially, yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
And one of them is just an entire company making a series of terrible decisions.
Yes.
Like existing.
Just make
And
it.
then one's just like not good at all. Just
Oh,
one
not
of
so
them is
good.
just child
And then one of them
abuse.
is genuinely
Yeah, one is
and
child
one of them
abuse,
is
spoiler.
genuinely probably other than like the tier 2, which was Burning
Just
Sun,
all
maybe
of
the
Burning
worst
Sun.
maybe the worst story we will cover.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Overall, this is tier 4. It's a tier. I think we're getting past the super depressing tiers, and now we're getting into the more, like, these are kind of these are still scandals.
They're very much scandals.
But we're getting to, like, the less serious scandals.
We're getting
With
into like the
exceptions.
shitty
With the
celebrity
exceptions.
gossip scandals.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's go. I'm here for trash tea.
Well, let's start with it with the story of Big Hit's only girl group, because Big Hit is releasing their first girl group
Hybe.
under Source Music, Hybe.
Hybe labels
Hybe-
now technically.
Hybe
So this
labels.
was actually Big Hit's only girl group.
Yeah, this will technically be
Technically.
Big Hit's still only girl group, Glam, because so Glam was a 5-member girl group under Big Hit Entertainment, and then essentially they only had, I believe, 2 comebacks before this scandal hit.
Mhm.
Like,
And before that scandal hit, I think it had been like a good. I feel like it was at least a good while from the final comeback before that.
I mean, I think their final song was, I believe, 2014, which is when this scandal started happening. But overall, I do think that Glam wasn't mismanaged. It was just that Big Hit was nothing back then.
They were definitely just on the path of like a new girl group. Yeah, that is just where they were. And that's where Big Hit was at
like,
the time
at
too.
this point, even with BTS would have debuted barely. We're looking at like no era BTS.
Yeah, and BTS
roughly?
wasn't like that big yet.
No to the Danger era of BTS, which is
That's like
questionable.
baby BTS era
baby
still.
BTS.
Yeah,
era.
Glam was only active for like
3
years.
12-ish,
3-ish years, yeah.
3-ish years, yeah. So overall, we start with, there's 2 major scandals with Glam. One slightly less serious than another one. So on December 31st, 2012, Big Hit Entertainment announced that a member of Glam, Trinity, was leaving the group due to personal reasons, but that Glam would continue as a 4-member group. It was widely believed, however, that these personal reasons was that she was a sasang for Super Junior member Lee Tuk. The rumors have never been confirmed, and it is unknown what the actual personal reasons are. And, so that happened. That's actually a really common thing, is for
members to be sasangs of like other older idols. That is not a thing that has happened only once.
Yeah. That happened to a member of, who was the sasang for L? That I remember vividly, everyone beat. It was a Momoland member.
It's one of
I remember.
Momoland's.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I want to say
9
it's
times
Daisy, I don't know.
Something like that.
But
One of
Daisy
them,
left the
Momoland.
group. though.
Yeah, I don't think it was because of that, though. I think that's a really common thing for...
Oh, it's Jane.
Jane, yeah. I think it's a really common thing for that to just be either an accusation or just an actual thing that happens, and I don't think we ever really find out if it's true or not.
No, I don't. That's like never a thing that gets like really confirmed at all.
It's just funny to me because it's like you're such a saucing that you just want to go ahead and just attempt to become part of a K-pop group. So that you
not even in the same company as the...
I know!
Never in the same company as the idol you're sang for, though.
No.
Yeah.
I'm sure that they try, but just can't get in.
But also, I feel like half the time these accusations have zero proof.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like, what the hell? What are we doing here?
It's very much like people doing like online, just like Twitter sleuthing for it.
But also, I feel like half the time the proof is that they were a fan of this person.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's not a sasang. That was just that person's bias and they were a K-pop fan. Because genuinely, who else is going to want to be a K-pop idol other than people who like K-pop?
Mm-hmm.
This isn't the most respectable industry for, the classical pianists. You're gonna be a K-pop fan, and that's when you become a K-pop idol. So then we get to the worst scandal. The big one. The one that glam is more known for this than for their actual music. So in September 2nd, 2014, actor Lee Byung-hyun accused 2 women of blackmailing him by using a compromising video as leverage. Dahi and model Lee Ji-yoon were later identified as the women involved and were charged with blackmailing the actor for 5 billion won. And then in January of 2015, the Seoul District Court sentenced Dahi to 1 year in prison. That same day, the Big Hit confirmed that the members of the group had ended their contracts with the agency and the group was officially disbanded. Then in March that year, the Seoul District Court, under Lee Byung-hyun's request, gave her a 2-year suspended sentence instead of a 1-year prison sentence. So she didn't actually end up having to go to prison. This actor was actually really accommodating.
Very nice about it.
Very, very generous.
He was,
and that is the story of why Big Hit has never had a girl group. It's because the one time they tried, someone went to jail.
Traumatic experience from that.
It was a traumatic experience.
Yeah, and it seems like at this point with, more so Hybe, Big Hit that became Hybe, that still has Big Hit, but it seems like they're at this point trying to do the whole, we'll just keep girl groups under this company and boy groups under this one, or this one, They're kind of
boy groups under other 18, all these other 18 subsidiaries, but Source gets the... It's all questionable what's gonna happen from now on, but I don't know. Also, they blackmailed this actor for almost $5 million.
Yeah.
That's $4 million.
That's so
much money.
That's so much money
to blackmail someone for.
Yeah, it's just sad.
That is a cartoon villain amount of money to blackmail a singular person for.
Yeah, Dahi, bad decision making here.
Dahi again.
Girl,
She might have been desperate for money,
decisions, which sucks because no doubt Glam was not making jack shit.
Glam was not making that much money.
Yeah,
but also, if they only knew what would happen later in 2015, they could have been popular. Because that was the year BTS released "I Need You." That would have turned that year was the year that company was going to turn around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
if they would have kept Glam, Glam would have at least gotten a bump.
Maybe, but that's not even a guarantee.
It's not, but I'm just saying, they weren't making much money, but they were about to be making.
They also could have just disbanded them to focus all effort onto BTS anyway.
I mean, that's not the world we live in. Who knows? But genuinely speaking, I think that this group, I like that it. Not but it's funny to me that it scarred a company so bad that this company at one point had 3 boy groups and have yet to try for a girl.
It's 2022, and this is the closest thing we're getting to a big hit entertainment girl group.
Not just that, but they can't even acquire girl groups well. They acquired G-Friend, immediate done. Now, literally, the 2 girl groups that they had to acquire Frumis in the most convoluted way, which was that Frumis was acquired by Pledis, which was then acquired by Big Hit.
And then 3 of the members of Le Sserafim were acquired from different agencies because Hyeonjin was under Pledis, which then Hybe bought, and then they transferred Chaewon from Woollim, and then they got Sakura from whatever company she was in, so...
Japan.
They need to,
just
like...
Whatever the...
But 2 of them were also from Eyes one, so, like, Eyes are already on the...
Yeah, the other girl was also, like, on Produce 48, too.
48,
so
yeah.
They, like,
I mean,
they know, they're well-known already.
You know what? This will be... Le Sserafim will be the first technically Hybe... I mean, Hybe is Big Hit. It's Big Hit under a different name.
It's Big Hit,
will be the
but with like 3 additional companies now.
It's Big Hit,
it's like
more
Alphabet
to
Google as Hybe is to Big Hit at this point.
Exactly. It all ends up going to the same place. Yep. And honestly, I think Le Sserafim, I'm excited for them. Glam unfortunately just scarred a company for life.
Yep.
They will never have I genuinely think we will never have a girl group under Big Hit Music. Because under Big Hit Music right now is only BTS and TXT.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
And I don't think we're getting a girl group under
because the Island 2 one is going to be under B-Lift or whatever, so...
Yep, that's still under B-Lift. That will be a thing, because that's CJ, E&M, and Big Hit. So, technically it's half?
Half. We're going to get half a girl group.
We'll get half a girl group under Big Hit.
Alright, so next we're going to move on to the first of our individual JYJ member scandals. Not all. We have more than one. There's more than one.
I'd say this is probably the worst of the individual scandals.
This is the worst one. Oh, this is the worst one.
So we got...
AKA the one that's SM is happy is not under them anymore.
Yeah, but like the ones under SM aren't doing much better.
No, they're not.
They're also accused of the same shit.
But like they're probably really happy they don't have this one particular underneath anymore.
So
he's the worst. He's the worst TVXQ member.
Yep.
I'll put them all under the same label right now. He's the worst one.
So we have Yu-chun. He's got 2 separate scandals, drugs and sexual assault for both of those. The first one...
two things you want to see under an idol's
lovely.
name.
Just absolutely lovely. The first one for sexual assault in 2016 and 2017, he was accused by 4 different women of sexual assault. Unfortunately, it was acquitted of all 4 of them after the police ruled it was difficult to prove the use of force, and that makes the charges invalid. They forwarded the case to the Seoul Central District Prosecutor's Office, and he was cleared of all sexual assault charges there as well. And one of his accusers was ruled to have falsified charges and was sentenced to 2 years in prison for that. And then another one was found not guilty of false accusations and defamation. So that's like a weird scandal that like went nowhere at all.
I love the contradiction of you can be acquitted of sexual assault, but the person who accused you is also just not guilty of false accusations and defamation. So it's a So what happened?
Don't know what's going on there.
What happened?
Scandal that it was bad and went nowhere. I guess. Who knows, really?
We're all back where we started. I don't know.
Who knows? And then the second one for drugs, that happened in 2019, where he was arrested on suspicion of purchasing and using methamphetamine and was also suspected of attempting to destroy the evidence by dyeing and shaving the hair from his body before undergoing a drug test.
I like
Which
that.
Is like, really
funny.
My God.
Can't do any other kind of drug test. It has to be the fucking hair test.
I find it funny that he's just like, yes, of course.
I'm gonna bleach my hair and shave all of my hair.
Shave everything.
Yeah.
Else
also, I thought there were like photos that showed that his like legs or something had indication like needle markings or something like that.
I mean,
there was like a
shaving the hair off your legs would make that more prominent.
That's
exactly.
True. This is very
They'd be like,
dude,
what's up with the scarring?
Not very smart move there.
No,
on his
part.
But then again,
the theme of
The
this
whole-
is people making awful decisions with their lives.
Yep.
Look at the awful decisions. Don't do meth,
yeah.
kids.
Don't do meth. That's
This
a
isn't
bad
like
idea.
our first drug thing where everybody was doing weed. Like,
But
this
like meth in
is-
general is not good.
Meth is
from what I've
meth
heard.
will ruin your life.
Yeah.
That is like one of the
Meth
drugs
will
that are like you
ruin
don't want to
your
fuck
life.
with that drug. Like that's
and
Don't
bad.
fuck with
heroin
it.
and
Yeah.
It
fentanyl.
will-
Don't
and
fuck
heroin.
with all three of those.
The hard drugs will ruin your life and your teeth.
I say crack too.
Oh,
based on what
God,
I've seen.
A lot of
Crack
drugs you
fucks
don't
up
want to
your
fuck
teeth.
with.
Don't fuck with
The
fuck
hard
with most
drugs.
things.
I'll do it.
Yeah. Also, don't fuck with cigarettes. Not a
those
drug,
aren't good
but don't
either.
fuck
Not a
with
drug, but
cigarettes,
still
please.
bad. Still very
So
Also,
bad.
don't fuck with vaping. Vaping is as bad as cigarettes.
Yeah.
Like,
Vaping's
don't
bad.
fuck with vaping.
Or as I
Vaping
see,
is bad. Vaping is really bad for your lungs.
It's
You
maybe worse
you
than
cannot
cigarettes.
It is.
I,
'cause you
what's the
cannot
recent
regulate
like
the
the
amount
real
of
cops
nicotine.
commercials they put? It's like that's metal toxins in your lungs, which is true. Which is why I stopped when I heard.
No,
about
the
that.
other thing is you can't really, because a cigarette will burn out. Vape cartridges are pretty decently sized. You cannot regulate the amount of nicotine you're consuming. You're gonna consume
Exactly.
too much of it.
Too much.
Yeah.
But now that we're done with the
Now that we're done telling the
drugs
kids to not do
PSA,
drugs.
now that we're done with the drug
Uh,
PSA for today,
After that, his agency CJES Entertainment announced that they terminated his contract with him and he's retiring from the entertainment industry as you do after you get caught of using meth. And according to news reports, he later admitted to the drug charges against him after initially having denied them repeatedly. And on July 2nd, 2019, he was sentenced to 10 months in prison, suspended for 2 years, and a fine of 1.4 million won. And he has since completed the probation without violation. So
It's like
he's
you
just
think
like-
that we're there at this point. Like,
Yep.
are we there,
Yep.
guys? Are we the K-pop there?
no,
don't do drugs.
I hope
don't
not.
don't do hard drugs.
Don't do hard drugs.
Because I
kids.
feel like
do hard
are we slowly becoming K-pop there? Because I'm like,
Again, I don't think that telling people not to do meth is
Meth
the
or
K-pop
heroin
there.
is a bad thing.
no,
We were
yeah,
very
I agree.
pro
But I just
weed
find
in
it
that
funny
first
'cause I'm like all these
episode.
drug issues. I'm like, wow.
Yep.
We do talk about
Talking a lot about drugs this year.
Oh,
That's
Jesus.
definitely how I saw my life going.
Exactly.
Exactly. K-pop and drugs, a threat.
I mean, they go hand in hand at this point.
Apparently.
Apparently. All
So
right.
go
Well,
on
to get away from
more,
the
to go on to like actual K-pop gossip.
Yes. This
yeah,
is
more
the,
gossip, not
this is
hard
the,
drugs.
the celebrity gossip time.
Definitely
This is the celebrity gossip
scandalous.
corner. It's a
Definitely
scandal,
tea.
though.
Let's talk about some shotgun marriages and secret families. Ooh, because that happens in this industry. Because
It happens
fans
more
are
often
crazy,
than you'd think.
and
for
people
an
want their
industry
privacy.
in 2022.
And they're just like, if something comes up with that, they're just like, all right. So let's start with one in particular, kR&Pop Soleil. So at first, she firmly denied rumors about her upcoming marriage to HOT's Moon Hee-jun, which, by the way, Moon Hee-jun debuted in 1996. Want to put that out there. kR&Pop was like, what, 2010, 2011, 2012?
I want to
era?
say I looked it up.
Yeah.
There's like a like 13 or something year age gap there.
Just want to put that out there.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Also
then
seems to be a thread,
debuted
too,
in
amongst,
2012.
Yeah. So she was all like, I guess, it's not a shotgun wedding. It's not a shotgun wedding. But guess what? There were rumors about her pregnancy surfacing after their engagement news. And many Netzians, as...
Quick note,
Yeah.
there's a 14-year age gap between these two.
Oh,
14-year
lovely.
age gap.
Better.
But
Even
as-
better.
As long as they're both adults at this point, which that's all I
Yeah,
care
she's
about.
she's 30 years old, so
She's 30 years old now. He's 44 years old now. This was what year?
I want to say she
Oh,
was
God.
25.
She was
When they got
25,
married, yeah.
and he was like, at that point, he was
39.
39.
Yeah. That's the
So
thing.
to put that out there, 25 and keep this in your mind, people. 25 and 39.
Just putting that out there.
Yep.
But
yep.
yeah, so basically, Netzians, they were speculating that the reason the couple rushed to marriage is because of a baby on the way. AKA, which would, cause a shotgun wedding. Soleil denied the rumors through her label Chrome Entertainment and claimed it's not pregnancy before marriage. Of course, doesn't really end there, because Netzians believe that Soleil had another lie then. And back in October 2016, Solyu officially announced that she'll be halting all promotions due to anxiety disorder. Coincidentally, that's around the same time period when Solyu would have been in the early stages of pregnancy. And just to put it out there, yes, it was confirmed she was
pregnant.
Get pregnant. She was pregnant. They showed up after the kid was born. They showed up at some point on Return to Superman or Superman Returns, which reality TV show. They showed off their family, their kid. She was pregnant. They ended up getting married. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, I also don't think that they were very well received on that show either. No, they weren't on that show for a long time, but everybody was like, this is a shotgun marriage and you are 14 years older than this
I don't
girl.
know if Moonhee Jun is a person the public particularly likes.
I know, no one likes him generally, but I don't think this helped his reputation.
No, but I'm saying, like, I think that beginning where he comes off as a little bit creepy, just generally his image on variety shows is like that, does not help the situation
greatly.
At all.
Yeah.
Because there has been other shotgun marriages. We talked about one in the first episode.
Yeah, Minhwan and Laboom girl whose name I can't remember. Yulhee, that was a shotgun marriage for sure.
That's a shotgun marriage, but I feel like it was a different kind of shotgun marriage where it's like they seem quite happy. They seem to have an actual like genuine relationship.
Yeah.
These two give me weird vibes.
Yes.
Like, who are we to judge their relationships?
If anything, they give me old school marriage vibes where it's like, okay, here's the marriage. This is how it is. We'll be cordial kind of deal.
No, what it gives me really is that I do think that he probably does like younger women.
Yeah, that's for sure.
She was younger. And also, I don't know, there's just something about this.
I mean, granted, there's also people, I mean, hell, you had Momo and Heechul being a thing. Momo's, like, right around our age, and Heechul was, like, in his early 40s when they started dating. And then I'm also thinking of, like, one other particular couple in the West that's kind of a similar age range, too. So, like,
Heechul's only 38.
It's a thing. Well, was he 38 when they started? I thought he was.
He's only 38
Heechul's 38 now.
Oh, forget about it.
Heechul's 38 now.
I was gonna say I don't know if any members of Super Junior are 40 yet.
Sorry, I was just like,
goddamn.
I was trying to like do the mental math in my mind. I was like, are the members of
Super Junior? Oh no, wait. I'm thinking like what's the person Florence Pugh and like whoever the hell she's dating who was on Scrubs. Yeah, that guy on Scrubs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's in his 40s, I think.
Yeah, that makes more sense. I'm like,
so like, but like, it's a thing. 40s? It's definitely sticks out a little bit. But
again,
like,
that's true. But a lot of it also depends on like when did you start dating, and also again, sometimes all of those relationships, like sure, age is nothing but a number, but also sometimes
there's a creepy vibe to this one.
Sometimes, when guys can't pull women their own age, you look young.
Well, the other thing, too, is that, that was, I mean, if you think about it, H.O.T. also was, a lot of people around his age that are women were probably huge fans of H.O.T. then. And maybe now, it's kind of like probably, not going to say he's not attracted to a younger woman or, on purpose, but, like, he could be. But I think a lot of it, too, is, like, there's that kind of, like, association with, oh, I knew you at the peak of your fame. I was psycho crazy over you. Like, I feel like sometimes maybe, as a theory, they go for younger women because of that lack of, like, oh, you were my biggest idol. There's a little bit more of a degree of separation there. So it's kind of like
I don't think particularly.
I don't know for sure, but that's
I don't know. I don't think it's that difficult to find a woman in her 40s that is willing, or in her late 30s that has not gone beyond her super psycho boy band phase. I don't think it's that difficult to find one, to be honest. If you're looking for that.
True.
But the other side of that is that you can go for a younger girl who's going to show you a lot of admiration. You're this older, mature man.
That's true as well.
There's a lot of admiration in the other way around. Who's to say what this relationship is based on?
Who knows? To what I know of, they're still together, so they must somewhat get along.
Divorce in Korea is another different thing.
True. Divorce is weird. Same thing in Japan. Divorce is weird. But all right, and then speaking of some secret marriages.
Speaking of secret marriages, I get to do the fun secret marriage part.
Ooh,
secret family. Sorry, it's more specifically a secret family.
I think it was a secret family and marriage.
It was both at the same time. Well, it's more of a secret family because it was like you're surprised with everything at the same time.
Yes, yes.
So, Yukis's Eli in December of 2015 announced via Instagram that he had been married for over a year, since June 5th of 2014, and had been dating his wife, who was a model who was 11 years his senior for 5 years, another age gap couple, and also announced that they were expecting a child. His fellow members, Sohyun and Kevin, took to Twitter to comfort fans about the surprising news of Eli's marriage. And then in December of 2015, Yukis's label NH Media released a statement to clear up some questions fans might have had. His label said that Eli's marriage would not affect his promotions with Yukis and that he would continue filming his Chinese drama, and asked fans to refrain from leaving hate comments as he would soon be a father. On June 8, 2016, Eli's son Michael Min-soo Kim was born. And then on August 30th of 2016, Eli revealed his wife Ji Yeon-soo to the public in NBC's Everyone's Video Star. And then in January of 2017, Eli revealed his life as a husband and father by joining the reality show KBS's Mr. House Husband with his wife and their son. And then in 2020, he announced he was getting a separation, and Michael would be remaining with his mother while he moves to America. Moves back to the United States. Sorry, Eli is from the U.S.
Is his mother in the U.S.?
What do you mean? His ex-wife?
No, because it said,
I
see, Michael's staying with his mom.
The son is with his mother. The son is
wife.
with the ex. Michael is with his mother.
Okay.
Yes, Michael stayed in Korea.
Yes.
Okay.
I also think his ex-wife has been pretty vocal about how upsetting the divorce was, because it seems like he just straight up moved to the United States
and then
was
just like
I want a
out
divorce.
of this kid's life.
Bye.
I'm out.
Yeah.
So this seems to be Eli's decision.
Yep.
I mean, it is another age gap couple. This obviously wasn't a shotgun wedding because they were together for 5 years.
They were together for 5 years, got married, and then I think they were probably expecting the child since having been married too. So it wasn't a shotgun.
Yeah, it was post.
But it was. He did have a secret wife for a year. So
yeah. At the time, so this was what, 7 years ago at this point?
Oh my god, I hate that.
So at the time when he got married, he was 24.
Mm-hmm.
And this woman would have been
35.
35. Don't love that either.
It's interesting.
Don't love that either. But
they did. The relationship seems like it was.
The relationship just seemed more stable.
More stable, also, because I tried to read an interview that the wife did, and apparently she had said that whatever they were filming for that show, Mr. House Husband, was like pretty fake. And, like, that was not very representative of their marriage, and that was the only time they ever looked happy was when cameras were around, and otherwise things were, like, kind of falling apart, so.
Ooh,
which tells me that maybe they weren't planning to get pregnant, she gets pregnant, and then he feels, like, an obligation to marry her.
And now he's, like, the stress is, like...
Yeah. But mind you, they would stay married after Mr. House Husband for another 3 years.
Yeah.
Because Mr. House Husband was 2017. They don't divorce until 2020.
Yeah. I feel like
at least
the
separate.
way it
I don't
seems...
even know if they're already divorced, because divorce takes
it probably is
they're
taking forever. I think they're probably filing for divorce, but Eli was like, I can't sit around and wait for that, so I'm gonna just leave to the United States.
I can't even stay in the same country
yeah, like, I'm just gonna fly across the world to be somewhere else. But and I'm gonna leave my son with you to take care of. It's just like, I mean, that's like,
this is
not good.
Your thing. No, he sort of just did just up and left everything.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything about Eli.
I haven't either. I didn't even know that
anymore.
They divorced, and now that I know they divorced and he just like straight up left his child in Korea is like, that's a bad look. Like, that's really pretty bad.
I know, because the other thing is that, you know who else is in America? Kevin.
Kevin is in America.
That's true.
Kevin is yet to... You'd think, but I don't know. Maybe they're not on good terms.
Who knows? I don't know.
Who knows? But yeah, that ended poorly, I think.
Very poorly.
I wonder if part of it too is the fact of like the different cultural backgrounds. You know,
I think
feel
that's
like
got to be a factor.
That's got to be a factor.
There has to be a factor there. I mean,
because he's coming from the States. She's
but
like,
again,
Yeah.
You did just leave your kid.
I looked him up on Instagram. His account is
How's he
private.
doing? Oh!
But he does still have 142,000 followers.
I think that he probably privated it after the divorce, I'm assuming.
I'm assuming.
But, oof!
It's not a good look for him. Pretty bad.
I mean, we did say
I also get the feeling there might be some other things going on behind the scenes too, because who knows? Like, what was it? She was a model, the ex-wife, well, soon to be ex-wife, if not ex-wife. Because like, I'm wondering like if there was some sort of clause where they're just like, if the kid's born in Korea, we want to stay in Korea if it's a Korean citizen. So he can't just take it. He probably could just take the kid with the country.
Like, I don't know about that, but the other thing is that like, yeah, this kid also is at this point. How old is this kid in 2020? The kid is. He was born in 2015. The kid is 7 years old. Is at least turning 7 years old, or was about 5 when this happened. This kid doesn't know America.
Mm-hmm.
This kid's young, but he only knows Korean. It also is like him taking the kids to the U.S. would essentially involve him being taken away from his mother, who, if he's still doing probably his primary caregiver, considering Eli was still doing UKISS promotions, who was that kid with? Probably his mom. Moving to a completely different continent and speaking an entirely different language.
Yeah.
Which, again, he's 5. He barely knows Korean. You think he's gonna also know... Who knows if he was raised with that much English? I think it would be quite traumatic for this kid to just be up and moved that far.
Also gonna... I just found an article that says former UKISS's Eli's wife reveals that her mother-in-law ran off with her money, leaving her to pay off Eli's debts, which is a big oof. It says that her mother-in-law had lived in Korea. Yeah, Eli's mom. That Eli's mom lived in Korea when he was an idol, and she and Eli had originally signed the marriage documents legally, and her mother-in-law told Eli that she wanted to live in the apartment, and she paid the deposit for the apartment, got it under Eli's name. Blah, 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 blah. And apparently that enabled the mother-in-law to take the deposit money out and return back to the States. And then she lost, then Ji Yeon-soo, the wife, revealed that she lost her trust in her husband because this issue had not been resolved ever, and she never received any money back from it. Yep. And then she also revealed that she'd been paying for one of her husband's car loans after he impulsively purchased a luxury car. She sold 10 of her bags in order to pay for it, even after the divorce. Multiple loans had to be taken out in order to pay off living expenses and bills due to the married life, resulting in her having a bad credit score. She has 8 more years to pay off the debts.
Ouch.
Also says that, what was the other? There's another thing in here. Let me find it again. He's apparently also unable to correct her marital status in South Korea because Eli is not cooperating with provision of necessary documents to file for divorce, and so she's considering taking out a lawsuit against him in order to get actually divorced from him. So that is falling apart.
I'm also just gonna assume, since they're still married, he doesn't have to pay child support.
No.
So I was refraining from calling Eli a deadbeat for just abandoning his child, but
so he probably did
Eli
that.
Kind of sounds like a deadbeat.
And and also the extra on there about the mom stealing the deposit money for the apartment and going back to America is that's really fucked.
That's so fucked. Oh my god, that's fucked.
Yeah, so that sucks.
Drama corner.
Oh boy.
But you know what sucks even more?
I wonder if this kid has seen his dad in 2 years. It seems like no.
I'm gonna assume no, considering how on bad terms they seem to be right now.
But also, he does not if he's not contributing, he's not going along with the divorce. He also,
I mean, plus pandemic too. So
still, if it's your kid.
I think he's probably holding off on the divorce because he doesn't want to pay child support. So
that seems like
and he is also blaming the fact that I think he's in America and hard to reach as a reason.
Also, I think the fact that if he does actually get divorced, the debts have to also be
the debts go back to him.
Everything not maybe not all of them go back to him, but some of them go back to him. That car probably goes back to him.
I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
I hope she got rid of that car.
I know. I would. I hope so.
I would get some money back for it.
Right.
Damn, but how many expensive brand bags did she have? She had 10.
She was
to
a
see
model.
She was a
them.
model,
She probably
so
got
she had a
gifted a
lot,
bunch of
yeah.
stuff.
Oh, that's. Oh, hopefully she got some of that for free and she was able to resell it at a
I'm
high
hoping-
price.
Also, you don't know what he like. Remember, this was like not peak U-Kiss, but like I mean, U-Kiss never really had that high of a peak, but it was like
That's
pretty
true.
decently peak. Like this was probably peak U-Kiss. He probably within those 5 years probably had some money to spend on her.
Yeah.
She was also a model. She probably got some stuff on disc like gifted or like
right. Is like
brand
sponsored or
sponsors
something.
Yeah, if she could have sold those for like a
Mhm.
pretty
She
high
did, to pay
price.
that
then
car.
She
yes.
has to pay for the
Sounds
car.
like
she's got,
it.
she's
For that
got 8
apartment.
more years to pay off her debts.
Yeah, that
Oh,
sucks.
This poor woman.
That just
Oh,
ended
God.
up a lot worse than I was expecting it to be.
People making
Live
Yeah,
terrible
so I guess
decisions
Eli
with their
and his
lives.
mother
Eli
suck with money, and Eli's being a
also
deadbeat
kind of
dad.
seem to suck as people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because apparently Eli's family is rich, though. That was also part of the article, that he has like a 3-story house in Virginia, his family, and they own like a fairly prevalent like Korean restaurant chain as well. So I think he is living perfectly fine
Probably-
back in America.
Yeah, he's probably fine.
and is ignoring
Especially, like-
everything about his past life in Korea.
Also, especially considering if they own a Korean restaurant chain, they're doing well. Korean food is like the big thing here now.
Yep, it is.
Exactly. Wonder what chain it is too.
Ooh,
Out of
boy.
curiosity.
I wonder what chain. Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to
So I'm
know
like,
if it's
do
right.
we probably should we not support
Like,
it?
should we
Probably
look up
not.
what chain
Hang on.
that they run? Because I kind of
So we need to know so we avoid it.
Because like if it's like I don't know if it's like Bonchon chicken or something, I'm not going back.
Right. Huh. Hang on. I don't know if it'll say.
So
Oh,
does that
well.
mean
Oh, well.
Eli's basically a trust fund baby? Is my question.
I mean, Eli is a much like a lot of K-pop idols. He's probably a rich boy.
Yep.
Well, I figured out. It's not. I don't think it's Bonchon chicken,
Well,
Okay,
that's good.
considering that started in Busan.
Yes.
So I don't. Luckily, guys, don't worry. The Great Chicken Place is fine.
That place is okay.
That place is fine. It's my favorite fried chicken restaurant. Korean fried chicken place. I was very concerned for a minute.
Yep.
Jeez.
Oh boy.
I was
Yeah.
hoping it was fine.
At least we know that one is safe. But yeah, I don't think it says which one is family.
It's maybe a regional chain.
It
It's
probably
not.
is. It probably isn't really a chain, but it's like a couple of restaurants
Couple
or something
stores.
like that. Yeah.
All right.
All
So
right.
now do we want to get to from this depressing one that we didn't think
that we didn't think was going to get that depressing.
Now something
To
that's
the
actually
worst
really
one.
sad.
The
Mhm.
worst one, genuinely.
Really,
Yeah.
really terrible.
Don't fuck with kids, man.
Yeah, so we're going to
Kids
talk
alone.
about the East
Don't.
Light, which is essentially there was a boy band named the East Light. By band, I mean like actual band. They played instruments. They were all really, really young. So, and they experienced both physical and verbal abuse that was allegedly committed by their producer and their label just generally. Media Line Entertainment CEO Kim Chang-fon is said to have committed verbal abuse towards them as well. So there's everyone who was working with them at that company was kind of
Just
either
blatantly,
active
physically-
participant or like stand by to everything
Which,
that
again,
happened here.
That's also abuse because like these kids had no one to turn to.
Yep.
Poor babies.
So their CEO has said to have committed violence since their debut in 2015. Not only him, but their producer A is also said to have committed this violence. The producer carried out extreme violence using baseball bats, a hammer, more, and sprinkled or insulted the East Light members who were still underage. Like I said,
Oh yeah, they were
a
young.
source close to the band said that the producer A often strangled the members if they made a mistake, and is apparently also once threatened to kill them. And he apparently did not care the fact that all of the members were underage. Over the
That
years,
probably made it easier to do.
yeah, because
They can't
like they're
fight
like
back.
our children. Like, what are they gonna do about it? Like, they probably had no idea what was happening. Like, that's just it's
Yeah.
like really sad.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's like this is not the way to you shouldn't
Not
be
how
like
you
punishing
foster
kids
a-
like this,
a
or like
working
even if they
environment
fuck it
for-
up, there are
Not
better
that
ways to
children
do
should
it.
be working anyway.
No.
Yeah.
The fact that all of them were like, I mean, it's like idols debut young. They start training some of them from like 9 years old, but like none of them are like, I don't, at least none of the other companies, like you don't physically abuse them or like, and even
Or,
within like
not saying that this probably has never happened in another company. It probably
it
has.
probably has.
But like to this extent,
Not to this extreme
I've
of an
never
extent.
heard of it happening to this extent.
Yeah.
Like these K-pop idols, I'm gonna tell you right now, every K-pop idol that's debuted has probably been abused as a child. Just the conditions of a trainee life
mentally,
are abusive.
at least mentally, if not
Mentally,
physically, in terms
emotionally,
of the weight loss
I mean,
stuff.
if I'm being honest, you can almost consider the like diet, like their relationship with food is fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So many of those idols are underweight. Like,
Yes.
That's
There's also like that's probably also a reason why so many of them have like anxiety disorders now.
yeah. Like, there's a reason that every K-pop idol, and like they have like anxiety.
A lot of them have like anxiety or like panic disorder.
Oh my
like
God.
a lot of them now.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yep.
But like to this extent of being threatened with a hammer is a lot.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot. So this producer A, I think he's the worst one. He would continue to commit violence until they started bleeding or their backs were bruised, and the CEO is said to have allowed this to occur and even participated in condemning and threatening the boy band members. And if he saw the producer like begin to commit violence against them, he would just say, "Don't be too harsh." This producer apparently also grabbed one of the members' necks with the guitar strings and pulled them every time he made a mistake during a live performance. And when the members complained about this treatment, he would just threaten them, saying, "I will kill you." Yes. So one, because of all of these like just physical abuses and taunts and violence that was committed against them, one of the members experienced mental and physical disorders and has undergone recovery treatment. In October 2018, accompanied by a lawyer, Lee Sexual revealed, this is one of the members of the group, the persecution he experienced from his producer, and he was just straight up crying. I think that's the oldest member of the group.
The oldest member, and I think he has a brother.
Him,
in the
yeah,
Yes,
he was
his
speaking
brother.
for him
Him
and
and
his younger
him and
brother,
his
who was
young-
also in the group.
Both of
Yeah.
them are like,
Son
and they were
too.
like two of the band, because like the East Light was weird. They had like a band, but like 3 vocalists.
It was a very weird band, yeah.
It was a weird band, but like,
And then
yeah.
they added
And then
that
they
like
ended up with
baby kid from Purdue
Yeah.
season 2 as a vocalist.
yeah, the like baby kid that was
Yeah.
friends with Daniel
Yep.
for a while.
Yeah.
That was a weird time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they added that kid, and the two that came out were like the band kid, and they were also the older kids. Which of
It was,
course,
I think, the
older
oldest
kids are
kid
gonna
and
be
then
the
his
ones.
younger brother, who was still on the older side of the band.
Yeah.
He would say that the producer repeatedly made us kneel and beat us with baseball bats and iron batons in the practice room or the recording studio, which is also soundproof, which is,
Of course.
Of course.
of course.
Of course. Because it can't get worse.
Yep. Their parents didn't know about the incidents until the agency promised that there wouldn't be any more of this
Until after
happening.
it happened.
After it happened, yeah.
And that kind of sucks, the fact that they, like, threatened these freaking kids, because no doubt
They're
they probably
children.
were going to tell their parents,
Yeah.
but they're like, you tell your parents, guess
No.
what, we're gonna fuck you
We're gonna
up.
kill you. Because, I mean, he's already,
Yeah.
this guy's threatened to kill
They're
them
already threatening to
Yeah.
kill you.
So that's probably, he's like,
Like,
I'm gonna
this
kill
guy
you
has
if
gone-
you tell
It's
your
like, it's
parents
hard
about
that
it.
situation. Many people are like, why didn't you say anything? Well, it's like, well, if you
They're
if
kids.
there's an
They're-
imbalance of
They're
power,
children.
They're
and they have no other means
because,
to
like,
get
an
out of a
adult-
situation like that.
Like, here's the
like,
thing. Even an adult can get trapped in a situation where you're genuinely scared for your life.
Exactly.
Like, even if you don't let, you're like, they can't kill me. They can.
Yep.
These are kids.
Yep,
they don't
yep.
know.
Ugh. It's bad.
They don't know any
They
better,
don't
and I
know.
feel so bad about everything that happened to these poor kids.
On top of this, the band's facilities didn't even get paid for by the agencies. The members had to pay for them out of their own pocket.
Of course.
So they're just given no support generally. And so these two brothers, their parents' suspicions initially arose when his father found bruises on his back, and then he went and approached the agency about it. Agency said, it's not going to happen again. Yada, yada. Whatever.
That's the It's not that it never like. They're not even apologizing for anything that, or even admitting to what happened. They're just saying it's not going to happen again. They're not denying it happens.
Yep.
But it won't occur more.
Right. Yeah, he also in this press conference said that his younger brother, who is the bassist in this group, experienced the same thing, and he is currently undergoing psychotherapy for it. At some time later, there's 2 other members of the group who claimed that these brothers were making all of these things up. And it was very confusing. Essentially was that they were more in support of the company, saying that this report differs from reality. And there's 2 of them separately, apparently, either directly supported that theory that these 2 brothers were just lying about everything. And were, like, greatly exaggerated.
A lot of this it goes back to the argument of, well, they're still under the company, and what were they promised in return?
Yeah.
Because,
and for all we know, though, they could have been separate sessions with individual members, for all we know, where some may have been treated better than others.
I think some were probably treated worse than others.
Yeah.
I would tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
Better or worse than others.
But
Who
also,
knows?
it's the fact of, okay, you leave. You have no career.
Yeah.
You're also a child.
Yeah.
Also, we don't know about, like, these kids had supportive parents.
Yes.
Some of those kids might have not had supportive parents.
What we know of.
The brothers had supportive parents, that's what I'm saying. We don't know what the family situation of these other kids were.
Yeah.
Yep. They, in 2018, I think they just terminated contracts with everybody. And just let it go going. I honestly don't know if any legal action got taken or if anything got resolved from this. I don't think anything ever happened.
I don't think anything came of it, because you sort of, like, stopped hearing articles. Everyone just sort of, like, just sort of stopped being talked about.
Yeah.
And who knows if anyone could have afforded it.
This company apparently made an apology, but they denied a lot of the abuse allegations, and then later they just disbanded the whole group. So that was, I think, really all that happened there. Because I don't think these 2 brothers would have gone through all of these steps and lied about any of it. Because,
absolutely, no.
Or lied about it to the extent that it was, too, because even if that was a slightly exaggerated, they were still very much abused by this company. And, like, that is just, like, not, like, absolutely ridiculous. That they, as a whole, like, an entire company was, I think, aware that this was happening and that they were actively being abused all the time, and not a single person said anything about it. And that is absolutely wild to me that was just allowed to go on.
All of this just makes me upset.
It's very sad.
It's just, I like some of their music too, but it's also just kind of now,
they had, my issue with them was that they had the problem that they were all children, especially their vocalists were all, like, very young.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't necessarily love their music, but I saw that they could be, like, become a very good band. It was a fun group. But it's just, looking back, you can't even look at them the same way.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Knowing that there's abused children.
Yep.
And speaking of I wouldn't say children abuse, but IU is not without being as famous as she is. She was not without certain scandals in particular. I'd say her worst one being, from what I observed, was definitely her being accused of sexualizing a children's book. So in particular, she, during the, I think it was her, her Cheshire EP?
I think it was
during the release of her Cheshire EP,
yeah.
Which was, like, what year was that? Was that, like,
2015?
2015, yeah.
It was when she turned 23.
Mm-hmm.
Or she was, like, the age of 23 or something like that. So basically, part of the concept of the book, of this EP, like, at least in art form and in a song in particular, is, taken from a Portuguese novel called My Sweet Orange Tree. One of the songs in particular, I think it's JJ or like Zeze. That's a 5-year-old protagonist from the novel, and she was accused of on the internet of inappropriately sexualizing this character in that song Zeze. So it was raised by Korean public. The issue came up from Korean publisher Dong-yok, and who translated and distributed the original book penned by writer Jose Mauro de Vasconcelos. I think that's how you say it. Don't quote me on
Nope, but
that. Yeah, exactly. I'm
Sammy,
trying
do you want to pronounce it?
Yes,
Sammy, you pronounce it.
Please, can I? Because that
Yes.
hurt me a little bit.
Yeah, do it.
Jose
Please.
Mario de Vasconcelos.
Yeah. There. Perfect. Nice. Thank you, Sammy. I'll
Sorry.
just call him, for the rest, if he
Sorry.
comes up again, I'll just call him Jose. So Jose. Thanks, Jose. So, basically, Dong-yok expressed, was basically talking on social media saying things like that IU portrayed the 5-year-old Zeze, who is full of pain and abuse, as a sexual subject. And the publisher added that freedom of expression should also be carried out in the presence of an emphasizing crowd. And it also raised questions about the cover art for Chachar, because Zeze was portrayed on this cover and was drawn wearing quote-unquote fishnet pantyhoses, posing like a pinup girl, which you be the judge of that. I mean, look at the cover art. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but yeah. Anyways, but IU had previously said there was definitely a lot of talk online about this. I remember in particular. And
There's
IU
a lot
there was a lot
to go
at least
through.
on the Korean
There was a
side
lot of
things.
think pieces about everything.
Yeah, and IU had previously said in an interview that her song Zeze was written from the orange tree's perspective. Okay. And I guess
Sure.
plants have feelings now. And she said Zeze is innocent and at the same time cruel. He is a contradictory character, and that's why I thought of him as attractive and sexy, which sure, IU, I guess.
Again,
You're not helping
it
yourself.
is a work of fiction,
Yeah, it's a work of fiction,
But
so it's not a
also-
real person.
Also, a 5-year-old.
but also 5.
but it is a 5-year-old fiction.
I would
know,
never
calling
which
a
is-
describe
5-year-old
a fictional
sexy.
5-year-old.
That's
sexy.
not the way.
It's
I
not
don't
the
think we
vibe.
should call 5-year-old people
I don't-
sexy.
Yeah,
But
regardless
maybe-
of that
maybe
being a
for
fictional
IU,
story, I don't
she
think that's
probably-
a good look.
Yeah, I feel like with IU, I think she was probably trying to do some like with I guess the tree apparently has feelings, and Zeze trying to be like almost like a romantic relationship, but at the same time, why would you do that with a fictional child character in a tree? I don't know. I don't know.
I do wonder if there's just like aspects of that story that were just lost in translation during the translating of
mean,
it to Korean as well.
Fair enough. I am reading the description. I grew up reading a bunch of Portuguese stories. This is from Brazil, so that's why I'd never like heard of it. But I am reading through it now. It's very depressing. Like the kid is like it's basically it's a child who's often very left by himself with a baby brother. Like his dad loses his job, the family has to move. Far darker for a children's story than I imagined. Yeah, he goes through serious mental trauma. He vows to take revenge on someone. This kid goes through so much
Oh boy.
in this story.
Yeah, and
then,
actually, look
like,
at the cover again. Okay, I can kind of see the pinup comparison.
see the
because
pinup bit?
He's
I can
wearing
kind of see it.
fishnets by a tree.
Yeah,
He
I
is
looked at
wearing
the thing
fishnets
again.
by
I'm
a
like,
tree.
I was trying to pull it from memory, but now looking at it again, in
Like,
person,
if
I'm like, okay,
genuinely,
yeah,
if
it's
you
weird.
didn't know what it was, it's a weird. It's just
It's
a weird image on that
having
cover.
no context for it. Generally, it's a weird image.
It is,
Yeah.
and having the context that
that's
it's a 5-year-old
is
weirder.
worse.
Like, I think that there might have been, because again, this story is very, again, I don't know how the language is used for how it's written,
Mhm.
because I've never read the story, but the
Mhm.
themes in it seem quite
I am
adult
curious
and quite
if
depressing.
if when they translated it, I would be curious to know if this got marketed as like a children's book, or
Or
if
as
it's
an
more
adult
of a
thing.
like the Little Prince style thing. Like, yeah, that's a children's book, but it's
That's
like
true.
a,
like
it's like
adults read The Little Prince, all that's like The Little Prince is just a classic book that
Yeah.
people read.
Yeah.
Or like an Alice in Wonderland or a Peter
Right,
Pan
right.
style thing where like both of
They're
those are
kind of weird.
like
Yeah.
they're kind of weird. Also, both of those have child protagonists, very young child protagonists,
Mm-hmm.
but are almost, like, we've seen weird adaptations of both of those where it gets really weirdly sexual.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with, like, The Wizard of Oz. That kid's, like, 7.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, it's all, like, I can see it being that kind of situation, but in a story that's most often for children, as opposed to something that we've very often seen is marketed toward more of an adult audience.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that
this was a weird
choice? I don't know.
I feel like it was IU
Very
trying
weird
to
choice.
find some weird inspiration choice for music to make her sound a little bit more unique, but
And I think
Like,
that
do I-
fit,
I
that
think
also
described
fits
in
that
one
vibe
about
of
that
the
album?
too.
Yeah.
yeah.
Do I think that this was intentionally malicious in any way?
No.
Do I think we needed a think piece long think piece about IU and children? No. I think this was just a weird take and a weird choice, and I don't think anyone is overall wrong in this situation.
I mean, it didn't destroy IU's career, but
It didn't destroy
definitely
his
was
career,
a
nor
hot
should
topic.
it have. And
No,
I
it
don't
should
think
have.
that the criticism is entirely unfounded.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that she's devoid of criticism for this. It is a
Mhm.
questionable choice.
Yeah.
I just think it's more of... It starts a conversation.
Does.
because I think it starts a conversation about sexualizing children characters in forms of media, and you're
Yes.
describing the kid as sexy and whatnot. When it's like,
but at the
it
end
sounds
of the
like
day,
the story the kid went through a ton of trauma, which is like,
he seems to have gone through a
It
ton
seems
of trauma.
like it probably shouldn't be a children's book in the first place, to be honest.
But also, I think if you wrote down everything that happens in, like, Peter Pan on paper,
Mm-hmm.
I also don't think... I mean, that generally is a really
I feel like
weird
older
children's
stories
book.
that involve kids too were just generally more
I mean,
fucked
this
up when you
story
think
is...
about it.
This is true.
How old is the story? I
like
don't know
when you
if the
really sit
story
down and think
is-
about it, you're like, wow, a lot of old school kids stories are kind of fucked up. Like,
1968.
like, even-
58.
even that's
Yeah,
the thing.
it's
Even
not
Grimm's fairy
that
tales.
old.
So that's not too old. So that's
It's not
yeah.
too old.
Maybe it's a oddity of that kind of field these days, but or maybe Brazil just has totally different. I don't know. What's the term?
I don't know. It just seems questionable.
Yeah, that was a choice, but IU hasn't. I will say IU has not made really too many questionable music inspiration
No, this is
choices
really
since
like
then.
the big one.
This
is
was the big one. I think she probably learned from that. Was kind of just like, you know what? I'll vet my work a little bit more before next time. And I don't think
Yep.
I've heard about Zay since. She never promoted it as a single. It was a B-side.
No,
this
I
whole
don't think
time.
it's. I don't think it's particularly a song that she does often anymore.
She probably does it because of the issues.
Not because
surrounding
after
it.
this.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But anyways, yeah, that's I guess the most scandalous thing IU's done in ever.
Now we move on to. I like that we called this JYP trainee on produce.
Yep.
We don't give this kid a name.
I don't.
We just called it
that
that.
kid who
That
was on
kid.
Produce, who was in JYP.
So, for Produce X101 in 2019, JYP sent one idol. His name was Young So Bin. You know, people were excited to have another Produce idol, JYP idol on Produce.
Mm-hmm.
The first one went really well. The first one got Somi out there. So we're like, he's gonna do great. And then, after it was announced that he was gonna be on the show, someone claiming to have known him during his school days posted old photos that apparently were of him. So the poster wrote that Yoon So-bin, who was at that time known by his birth name Yoon Byung-hee, was at the time well known in the Gwangju area for being a school bullied who committed violence ever since he was in middle school. Yay, more bullying. Photos were also shared through online communities of someone who was described as being him, though the identity was never confirmed. These photos included photos of someone sitting on a table of alcohol bottles, and another photo of someone smoking while wearing a school uniform. Meanwhile, others had come forward to deny the claim that he was a bully. One person who said to have been his classmate wrote, "He wasn't a bully like the post described." They added he was in the athletic club, but he didn't misbehave. He was very kind. JYP confirmed that they did terminate his contract, and he was edited out of any episode of Produce that he was in. He didn't do that many episodes.
He was in, I think, only auditions and then maybe
And
round one, and then they withdrew him from the show after that.
But yeah, no, he was in like 2 episodes because this came out while they were airing the they think they had filmed the auditions.
Mhm.
They hadn't aired them because there's not a version of that show where they don't fucking blur him as much as possible. So JYP cuts ties with him, and now in the year 2022, he returns in the BL drama Kissable Lips, which is not good. For my mini review, which is the most interesting thing, is that show is not good. He doesn't even play the vampire, which is unfortunate. And then also, terrible ending. However, I will say it's not even the worst idol starring BL drama of this year.
No.
The worst one is Tinted with You. Sorry, June, I love you.
That's
it was not good.
June's
The
fault.
best
That
one,
was just a bad show.
the best one, though, is Semantic Error.
Yes.
Starring, like, double duty
Semantic
with K&K.
Error single-handedly revived Donkiz's career.
Entirely, because now they're not even Donkiz,
No.
they're DKZ.
It takes a second to think
Again,
about it every time, because it's too close
Every
to
time
DKB.
I say it so slowly, because I can never remember what the last letter is until I start saying it. I gotta just go for it.
Yep.
But yes, no, in terms of those 3, it's Semantic Error, 80 spots in between, Kissable Lips, 20 more, then Tinted with You.
Yep.
That's my official
The
ranking
Korean BL really
of
needs
those
to
3.
get better.
I mean, the
is what
Korean
we
BL's
have to
not.
learn
I mean,
here.
that's just the 3 Korean BLs of this year. I could
Mhm.
add, like, Where Your Eyes Linger is also really good, and that has someone from Produce Season 2. Someone else in Mr. Heart, which is also very good. Now this has just turned into me reviewing Korean BL, but this kid's not that interesting to talk about.
No.
He's also not that terribly good of an actor, if I'm being
That's
honest.
unfortunate for him.
I can't tell if it's his acting or if it's a bad show, to be honest.
It's funny
It was
that
a
there was
50-50.
I love how so many of these scandals have zero resolution to them.
Oh, absolutely. K-pop just sort of, has things happen. We kick the kid out of the group,
And then we
never
just
find out if it's
forget
true or
about
not.
it. We forget about it entirely.
Oh, absolutely, because apparently he did put out an apology, but I don't, it's one of those apologies where it's like, I'm sorry for all my past indiscretions, but never fully telling us what they are. So I'm like, did you just, smoking and drinking, whatever, I don't care, because I think it was, but, bullying is we don't know what happened.
No.
This is very up in the air.
And it's all of these accusations that thrown around, no, I don't think any of them could be verified at all. So
nope,
it's just people shouting at each other is really all that was.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and to stay on survival shows as well, I'm going to talk about Mixnine. This is specifically the aftermath of Mixnine. So, as a background on Mixnine, just generally, it was a survival show that was made by YG Entertainment. YG, the man himself, very active on both the production of the show and in the show as well. He went around to different agencies searching for trainees, recruited 200 of them, of male and female, to the show. All of the male trainees competed against each other to be the top 9, and then all of the females competed against themselves separately for their top 9, and then only one of the top 9, male or female, was going to debut, just based on whoever had more votes. Was always going to be the male trainees. That's just how survival shows work. There's a bigger fan base there, they get more votes, significantly
Obviously.
more votes than female trainees do. That's what happened at the end too, is that the top 9 of the male trainees were supposed to debut. So after the show is over, the top 9 male trainees were supposed to debut as a project group under YG Entertainment. However, the plan fell through when YG's and all of the idols' agencies couldn't agree on a promotional period. Happy Face Entertainment, who is the company of the kid who got first place, Woo Jin Young, filed a lawsuit against YG for not even that much money, about $9,000 US.
Probably just the money that they spent sending this kid on to Mixnine.
They claimed that YG Entertainment led this program with the influence of being a top 3 entertainment company, but failed to uphold contractual agreements. YG initially stated their management period would last 4 months, but then suddenly extended it to 3 years, which is a lot to go from 4 months to 3 years.
Especially because Mixnine had a bunch of people that were in groups already.
And that's why the promotional period was that short, was because Mixnine recruited a lot of, like, just new groups onto that show to begin with. Like, in the finals, like, there's a couple members of O&F were supposed to be in there. Kid from 7 O'Clock was in there. I don't remember fully who else. Oh, two members of Ace were supposed to be in it. Like, there were a lot of, like, pretty decently known idol groups who were in that top 9 of Mixnine.
Oh, yeah.
And so extending it to 3 years, Happy Face said, was very disadvantageous to a lot of the smaller companies, aka every other company that sent their trainees onto the show. And they kept leaning towards debut fans falling through unless they agreed to the 3-year contract terms. And it was just a power play from a major entertainment label, which, 100% correct on their part. I feel like that's completely justified.
That. Like, that is what YG... I feel like that's a YG move.
That is a YG move.
Yeah, YG's very scummy for all this because, change it up last minute, the terms of a contract.
I mean, YG just seems like
these
a
companies
scummy
do not
person.
plan for that. It'd be one thing if these companies planned for that long of a time, but
no, they sent all their trainees on, and trainees / already debuted group members, knowing that this was going to be a 4-month contract period, and then YG's like, no, 3 years or it's not happening. And I'm like, you can't just do that. Like, that's not great.
If you're going to do a change like that, you need to, if you're thinking about actually making it longer, you need to do that before filming wraps.
I love how they jumped from 4 months straight to 3 years. We didn't even go like one
Produce
one
at that
year,
time
1.5
even
year.
doing 3 years.
And granted, I don't think the show was even that popular anyways.
It
So
wasn't.
that's why
not.
YG extended it to 3 years, was because the show did significantly worse ratings wise than they were expecting, so they wanted more time to train them and have them be cohesive as a group. But you can't just do that. Like, what you have promised them,
I feel like
4 months.
This was also, I feel like, a move where, like, you're like, oh, so if we get them for 3 years.
Yeah.
But if they say no, it's not our fault the group doesn't happen. It's their fault the group doesn't happen.
Yeah.
That's another move, I think, that's why they did this.
Yeah, Happy Face essentially said that money that they sued him for was the expenses they spent for Woo Jin Young and his initial plans to debut in YG. And everything. And so that was just like training and like transport and stuff like that. And having believed that he was going to debut under YG, they paid for his training, his makeup, clothes, and all of that for about 6 months. And also they never received any revenue from music distribution as stated in the contract that apparently all the companies signed. But Happy Face ended up dropping the lawsuit later. They said they met with the Mixnine production teams a few times and had a lot of discussions where they clearly pointed out and criticized the multitude of problems that occurred on the show during the filming and the broadcast ended, and the Mixnine production team apparently fully acknowledged all of the problems that they caused and apologized. Happy Face, which is now renamed themselves Dice Entertainment, because that's what Happy Face did, is they split up their company into, like, specifically for groups, like it's Dreamcatcher Entertainment for Dreamcatcher, and now it's Dice Entertainment, but it's still Happy Face.
Dice. For D-ones?
Where they said they accepted the apology from the production teams and have since settled the misunderstandings peacefully. And I like the statement that says, considering YG's will for a more healthy development of the entertainment industry in the future, we withdrew the lawsuit regarding Mixnine.
Mind you, what would happen not like a couple
years later.
1 year? 2 years or something like that?
Yep.
Is when Burning Sun
Yep,
happened?
I'm like, that's really funny.
YG truly thriving and making the entertainment industry a better place.
I also know that it was rumored that YG has been attempting to blacklist Happy Face for a long time after this happened.
That seems correct.
Which I would believe. Because a lot of very bizarre things have happened with the music show when rules being changed. Like, right during Dreamcatcher promotional periods, which is, like,
constantly
a little bit sketchy. But honestly, YG at the time had enough power where, like, they could just, like, fuck with Happy Face and their groups because they were trying to sue them. And, like, to be granted, they were suing them for not even $10,000. So, like, an insignificant amount of money for YG Entertainment, but they're just gonna still be petty about it, so.
But also the fact that they just fucked up so
They
bad.
just made everything about the show was a mistake. This is not even going into the fact that YG himself, it was pretty pretty well discussed online how creepy he was on the show, with all of both the male and female trainees and idols who are on the show.
I mean,
which is
let's
tracks
not go any farther
tracks
than
for YG.
the fucking. Just not fucking go any farther than the hot pants debate.
Oh yes,
Jeez.
yep.
Oh
That
my
was a
God.
For
big.
anyone that doesn't
That was
know,
a big.
Ace
item
went
of
on this
discussion.
show, and
Those
this
pants.
was like roughly what Cactus era,
Yeah.
where they were wearing like
Yes.
short shorts, which for some reason YG called hot pants,
Yeah.
which again, 1997
man.
much? I don't even know what's going on.
I don't know.
Hot
And
pants
then
indeed.
they just countered back with Winner just wore this in their, I believe it was Island
Yeah.
music video. They were just wearing the same shorts.
Yep.
And then he just sort of he didn't have a reply to that. Which again,
I mean,
why did you make this comment?
he's a creepy man. We know this
He is
already. He's-
YG.
it's just it's terrible. The entire show is a mistake. There's a lot of other just like random smaller scandals that
I'm
occurred
pissed
through
on
the course
YG
of the
for
show as well.
Mixnine because of the way he treated fucking Luna. I was mad about that. I
Yep.
was not having it.
Mhm.
Especially for for Hustle. I was like, no bitch. She's amazing. Shut the fuck up.
And
So-
to
I mean,
I like the amount
continue
of
with Happy
people
Face, several members of Dreamcatcher also went on this show.
I mean, to
That's
just
true,
look at
they
the
did.
people that got rejected on Mix9, you're like, oh, it's this group, this group,
Mhm.
this group. Like, between that and the unit, you're like, what the fuck? What's everyone doing?
Yeah, this was airing simultaneously with the unit as well for
Which,
like
again,
content.
I don't
And they
think
both
either
failed.
of
They
those
both
shows
both
were
of them
gonna
were massive failures.
I don't think
It's
either
kinda
of those
funny.
shows were gonna do like produce numbers even before this,
Mhm.
but I do think them airing simultaneously sort of did just put them in a position where like you're taking viewers from each other. Like
Which was
I
also
don't know if
really
they were taking
funny.
viewers from each other. There just weren't any viewers with either one to begin with.
there weren't any
probably.
viewers, but I also don't think that like airing the same show twice, people aren't gonna watch the same show on two different nights. They're gonna pick like, well, I'm watching the unit, I'm not watching Mixnine, or I'm watching Mixnine, I'm not watching the unit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really think you're gonna watch both.
Well, it was also really funny. Some groups straight up split their idols in half and
They
sent half
did.
of them to Mix9, half of them to the unit. Like
Ace did
Ace,
that.
half of them, 2 members of Ace went to the unit. The other 3 went to Mix9. Also, like one we went to the unit, like pre-debut One Us went to Mix9.
Yep, it was a lot.
Yep. Yeah. Show as a whole, big mistake.
Show
YG,
shouldn't have
a
happened.
terrible company. We already know this.
YG, also a terrible person.
YG, the
Yes.
person, also a shitty person. Also not surprising, but still a shitty person.
Yes. So I have an interesting topic, and I think before I start with this one, I want to look at a Wikipedia definition first, and that will be on what they consider what a swastika is. So today, I will quote directly from Wikipedia. The swastika symbol, today primarily recognized in the West for its use by the Nazi Party, is an ancient religious icon in various Eurasian cultures. It is used as a symbol of divinity and spirituality in Indic religions, including Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism. It generally takes the form of a cross, the arms, which are of equal length and perpendicular, kind of like in a rotating kind of figurine. And in the Western world, it was a symbol of auspiciousness and good luck until the 1930s, which was when the German Nazi Party, became a thing and did all of its terrible shit, and all that jazz. Not good. And as a consequence, its use in some countries, including Germany, is prohibited by law. Surprise, surprise. However, the swastika remains a symbol of good luck and prosperity in Hindu, Buddhist, and Jain countries, including Nepal, India, Mongolia, Sri Lanka, China, Japan, and in Korea, and is commonly used in marriage ceremonies like in Hinduism, posted to Buddhist temples, even used as a symbol to mark a Buddhist temple. Especially in Japan, that used to be the case, but I know they were switching over due to the upcoming Olympics, probably because of Western folks kind of looking at that differently. But basically, yes, for a long time, that symbol was seen as a good thing, and then, of course, the Nazis ruined it for the Western side of the world, but But there's still this divide to this day because Japan never used Nazism, and Japan was the big bad evil back in the days of World War II and such, in the pre-World War II era, but they never used that symbol. If anything, they're kind of the old school Japanese flag then with the red dot and then the line striping out of it. That's kind of seen as like how the West views the swastika symbol, but to put a little bit of a pre-context that a large parts of Asia don't have that association with Nazism as we in the West do. And then, of course, it doesn't help that there's still companies like, particularly Boy London, that still use Nazi what's the term? Iconography? Visuals in their clothing influences. Like, it's not as obvious if you can't tell at first, but
they're not using the blatant swastika. They're mainly using...
I think it's usually like the eagle
they use. Yeah, the eagle they use is blatant Nazi.
So that stuff is still kind of sometimes
but
popular
they're not
fashion within
trust me, everyone,
Asian
no one's
circles
using the
and around
swastika.
the world. But I want to put that out there first before we talk about this scandal. So this was a case with former G-Friend member So-won. So in January 30th of 2021, So-won had shared 2 images of her with a mannequin. And the photos show So-won cuddling the mannequin. And they were in a cafe, that November. The group was filming a video. I mean, sorry, not that November. November 2020. Basically, this this mannequin basically had what looked to be Nazi-inspired clothing on it. Visually, Nazi-inspired clothing. Why was it in the cafe? Who knows? It was just there. So that image had been deleted. Her management said she felt a profound sense of responsibility over the posting of the images. And of course, many people were all like, girl, you racist, why you're doing this, apologize. Probably a lot of Western fans doing that, but nonetheless, Source Music was all actually put out a statement to CNN, of all things, that she was shocked and deleted the post when she understood the significance of the image. So the company also apologized for the presence of Nazi clothing and said the staff member in charge did not recognize there was an issue with the mannequin's attire during an on-site inspection on the day of filming. We apologize that we are not able to check in advance that there were inappropriate props at the filming location, for not thoroughly inspecting the filming process and uploading the content, and not paying close enough attention to societal issues and historical facts. And, basically So-won was criticized for it. Yada. But that's why I said the stuff in the beginning, because Asia still kind of doesn't...
Why is there a Nazi soldier in a cafe?
Yeah.
Because
it's bad, but it doesn't have the intensity as the West.
It's not just the swastika.
Yeah.
The big problem is, why is there a Nazi soldier in a cafe in South Korea?
That's the bigger
I think
question.
a lot of it-
Soldier mannequin why that's there.
Why is it there in the first place? I don't know.
Why is it there?
I think a lot of it honestly is due to aesthetics. I have noticed that it's a thing in certain countries in Asia where they like the for some reason aesthetics of the Nazi clothing, which I find weird, especially with the horrible shit they done. I find that weird, but
the other thing is also it was very bad timing.
Yeah.
Because it was also around a Holocaust Memorial Day.
Yeah. So not good.
So it's not a good look.
The photo she also took with this mannequin is just a weird photo to be taking with a mannequin as well.
It is also a really weird photo with a mannequin. I have so many questions about everything that happened here.
And I think it's like,
again,
I think a lot of it too is like there isn't that weird intensity hatred towards Nazis in Asia as there is towards Japan.
Yes, but I don't think that the criticism is unfounded.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so, but there definitely isn't that weird
this is not them getting mad
at
at someone using the swastika as a religious symbol.
Yeah, this wasn't using a religious symbol.
This is people telling her, hey, maybe don't pose with a literal Nazi mannequin, because this wasn't this was
don't pose with one.
Just as like a vibe check, don't do it. Mm-hmm. There were people that took it too far and called her anti all of these terrible names, but for the most part it was people saying
maybe don't do this.
This is not a good look. This is a bad look.
No, this is not a good look. But I feel like, which makes me question is, did she know it was Nazi uniform? Did she know it was that? I'm like,
No.
I wonder
but
how
does
much
she
they
know
teach
now?
about.
Yes.
I'm thinking. I also
Does
wonder.
she-
This is why I go back. Why I did the description in the first place.
Why
Because
is it
there
in a
isn't always
cafe?
that association with Nazis back during the World War II era and the pre-colonial era. It was basically the Empire of Japan at the time. They
Yeah,
were
they were
the
much more
Nazis
concerned
to
I'm
Asia.
not
about
saying
Japan.
again.
Yeah.
I'm not
The
saying
Nazis
that like
in the
this
West,
girl
I
deserves
don't-
to be
yeah.
canceled for everything she's ever done.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that no matter what the excuse is, the appropriate thing is, what happened? I'm sorry. Take down the picture, and she,
Exactly.
just
Which
as
the
I've known, has never done
appropriate
anything
response-
That is the appropriate
Nazi
way.
The
thing
appropriate
again.
response was
Response
made to the
is what was
picture,
taken.
so...
Like,
Yeah.
like I.
Still is a
like,
weird picture to
Yeah,
take.
it's not
Still
so much
weird.
the swastika that was the problem. It was the entire mannequin as a whole.
Because it's not just it was a swastika, it was clearly
it was
dressed as
a
a Nazi soldier.
Nazi soldier. This was
Weird
not
cafe.
a swastika
That's all I gotta
with
say.
no
Really
context.
fucking weird cafe.
This was a
because why would you
swastika with
put that
full
in there?
Nazi context.
I do wonder if that cafe
there
still
not-
has that mannequin there.
I wonder too.
I
'Cause,
wanna
like,
know.
I've seen idols get in trouble for them taking a picture at like a religious with a swastika in the background, but that swastika is in a specifically like religious context. They're at a shrine. They're somewhere
Yeah.
where that swastika.
A lot
does
of
not
people,
have-
though, from the West
This
don't
is
realize the
very
religious context of the
different
swastika,
context.
though. So I feel like
This
it's
is
like,
not.
yeah,
This is not that.
this is not that
This
clearly.
is
This is not
Nazi.
that clearly.
This is reading Nazi.
Yeah,
This is full Nazi. It's a bad look, but I think the appropriate response was made.
Yeah.
And it's just something that will it haunt her forever? Yes.
Because considering it got to CNN, the story, I'm like, it
Yeah, which
got,
is the
like,
wild part, 'cause-
global reach.
Which again,
because let's
a
put it
lot
this way:
of
the
it
only
really
other
is
major
the
thing I
question
think
of
that
how
got the
was this
CNN,
allowed?
Yeah.
besides
Why
BTS,
is there a Nazi soldier in a
Yeah.
Korean cafe?
apparently someone
A
in Korea,
question I
I don't
have.
know, someone in Korea clearly thought that was
That it
cool
was a
to
good
put in
idea?
cafe, which I would not. I don't get why they thought it was cool, but I think a lot of it is due to that not that strong historical association
Also,
with
for
them.
for context, guys,
Yeah.
this photo was on January 30th. Holocaust Remembrance Day is January 27th.
Mm.
Yikes! Yeah,
Bad look.
Yeah.
Yikes! That's a yikes.
yikes! Not good timing.
It's a yikes.
And that's
I'm like,
that's my
I
question too. Is that did she even know that was
No, I don't
Holocaust
think she
Remembrance Day?
I
don't
doubt
think
it.
she did.
I highly
doubt
doubt
it.
it.
But
I
I
don't
just
think she
want to
did.
point out that it was like an added like we just had that and
Mhm.
now we're seeing these photos. Like it doesn't help the
No, it
conversation.
doesn't.
It doesn't necessarily make it. A lot of this I'm not blaming her for. I do think we got the correct response, which is we didn't know. We're sorry. We'll never do this again. I want to know why. I still really want to know why there's a fucking.
I don't know.
Nazi
I wonder.
soldier in a
Did they even
Korean
reveal which
cafe.
cafe it came from? Is my
I
question.
don't think so.
I don't think so.
Mm.
I don't think that.
I'm sure someone out there has probably like figured it out, like internet sleuthed
mean,
it out, but
There can't be that many cafes with that kind of theming.
mhm.
Maybe there are.
I
don't
just
know. I've
can't
never been to
imagine
Korea.
there being like Nazi sympathizers in Korea. That are Korean.
I don't know. There's.
I just
there's
can't
crazy
imagine
people
that.
everywhere.
I mean, true, but it's like
I feel
it's
like
such
there's
a weird
gotta be
thought.
one.
It's such a weird thought, but I also.
It is a weird.
But
thought.
I'm thinking what
But
most
I also
likely
don't
happened
know
that
if
it was
this
probably
is like Nazi sympathizers or people.
It's just
who
they
have
like
made...
the aesthetic for some reason and just don't care
how
about
many?
the...
I mean, let's be honest here.
significance of
How
it.
many times have probably the rising sun flag been used on like pieces of merch, pieces of
Too
fashion,
many.
pieces of
Mhm.
other things that is deeply offensive to
Mhm.
many? But especially in the West, no one has a single amount of context that
Exactly.
I think that's a pretty
Yeah.
good like comparison. Whereas like I think a lot of people like in the West have no idea what the rising sun flag is or why that's offensive
Mhm.
or the context of it at all. It probably is similar in South Korea where it's like the Nazi symbolism in swastika is probably not as well recognized publicly. over there.
Exactly. That is
It's like-
that is fact. I mean, heck, even Disney had to change the poster for Dumbo because of course, we you know, when I was first, like, the live action Dumbo poster, they had to change it.
Yeah.
Because
It
to
kinda
them,
looked-
to Korea, it looked like the Rising Sun flag, while to me, it looked like a, you know, early 1900s.
I mean, once it's pointed out, you can't really see anything. Once someone pointed it out, I'm like, shit, it does look like the Rising Sun.
But you
flag
know,
a
Disney
little
did
bit.
not see it
A
that
little
way,
bit.
though,
It
because
was
what
not on
they did that as, like, an
purpose,
old school Big Top Circus thing. They did not see it as
yeah, but, like, you have to be, like, somewhat culturally sensitive, and that's,
exactly.
like, it's very questionable.
Yes.
But yeah,
I
it
think
is a
this
very
was
good comparison
the same,
of that.
I think this was what happened with So-Won. She didn't
And,
get
like,
the
should someone be
cultural-
called out for it? Yes, but at that point, you acknowledge it was wrong, and we move on.
Yeah, I
So
think
now do we move on to
speaking of moving
nepotism babies?
Nepotism.
I like that nepotism has become, like, a thing that, like, a lot of Western, especially actors recently, people have been calling out, oh, did you know this person was a nepotism baby? We're gonna do that with K-pop now.
Hooray.
So, it's mainly SM. We're gonna do two big examples of nepotism babies, which is, one, Sunny from, SNSD is just Lee Soo-man's niece.
Yep.
That's just who she, like, that is his niece.
That's why she's in the group. That's why she's
That's
there.
why
Probably.
she's there.
Huge reason why she's probably in the group alone.
Entirely.
Yeah, I would go ahead and say entirely the reason she's
Like,
in the group.
let's put it this way: unless Sunny just did not try as a trainee, I don't think there would have been any scenario where she would not have been in SNSD or in
absolutely.
a SM.
If
group.
Sunny
If
pulls
Sunny
like a
did-
glam level scandal, maybe
No.
she's not in SNSD.
Pre-debut. I still think that if Sunny pulled a glam level scandal while already debuted, she'd be fine.
Exactly.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because she was also in SNSD. More so that. But also I think that, like, that girl was making that group no matter what.
Mhm.
And then another SM, this is more
This
of
is
a
all
maybe
speculated.
nepotism
I think this is
baby?
entirely speculated. I don't know if
Yes.
any of it is actually factually correct or not.
Yes.
We'll
Is
see if
Aespa's
it does ever
Giselle?
become true. But yeah.
Who knows? I mean, let's be honest. It could, or like, even if it's not true, she's already in the group, so there's no
Mhm.
changing that now.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So Aespa's Giselle is rumored that her aunt is in a relationship with Lee Soo-man, the executive producer of SM Entertainment. However, it's not confirmed. People speculate that she debuted because of nepotism, but originally the lineup had Hana, an SM trainee who was complete before Giselle got nepotized. We can use that as a verb.
Nepotized.
I didn't know we could use that as a verb.
Just I nepotize
Into the
you.
group? I nepotize you into
nepotize
success.
yes.
To the point where the group actually recorded Forever together and was supposed to release as part of SM Station with Hana and not Giselle, but last minute they kicked her out, and Hana, who had been there since 2012, and replaced them with apparently Lee Soo-man's girlfriend's niece.
Ouch. Wait, is her name Hina or Hana?
Hina, sorry. I
Okay.
can't read today.
That's
Hina.
But yeah, that sucks. Yeah, I mean,
That
sucks
would
to
also
be
suck
kicked
to
out.
be kicked out
Really
after
awful.
that's
Oh.
like 9, 10, like
That's
we're
like
going
9,
on
10
later,
years.
get kicked
9 to
out.
10 years, yeah.
Yeah,
and you
that
get kicked
sucks.
out for some dude's girlfriend's niece. Not even the daughter, the niece.
The niece of the girlfriend.
The niece of the girlfriend.
Yeah, which is wild.
That would, it's absolutely wild.
That would
That
absolutely
would suck
suck.
so much.
But I don't think there's anything confirming that it is Giselle.
Nothing does confirm it. It
Yeah.
is just a rumor. It could entirely be wrong. This is one where we're really like, it could be wrong. We don't know. Da 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 da.
Giselle,
But
give
if
us
it's
the
true,
tea. Let us know that your aunt's dating, banging Isuman. Like, let us know if they bang.
I wonder if they, cause like, let's be honest, Sunny, she'll always be his niece. They're blood related.
Yeah.
What if they break up? Lee Soo-man and the aunt.
Yep.
Cause like Giselle is still in that group. She can't get kicked out.
This girl did leave right before Aespa's debut. So she
Yeah.
definitely did.
I mean,
So yeah. Clearly
She
we
definitely
don't
just-
know why. Obviously she didn't make the debut lineup, but if that is
Yeah.
the case, like, it's not like a wild speculation that that's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the other thing is a lot of people leave SM because they just take in so many trainees, and like not all of them are going to make their groups, even though, again, in theory, all the boys could just debut under NCT.
Mm-hmm. There's also that other kid who, Hansel, who was supposed to be an NCT and then just fucking left.
Oh
yeah, he left
right.
Went to New Kid.
Yeah.
Oh, and he was on the unit. Yeah.
Do we know what happened to him after?
He's in New Kid.
New Kid now, which is like
New Kid with 2
not
Ds.
that anyone particularly cares about them.
I mean, clearly I didn't know, but I knew he was on the.
Yeah, that's where he went. He was also on the. He was also in UNB.
He was in UNB.
I think so. So there's also definitely been more nepotism babies, but the other thing is we know so little about so many idols' families that you're like, who knows? These are just the ones that we
other nepotism
sort of have rumors
babies
about.
Also, it's a little bit more vague about it, where it's like this is clearly like the daughter or relative of someone who works in the company. So that's why they're here. It's more so that like their parents are generally famous in the entertainment industry in either a producing or directing type of a way. And that's how they're getting an in there. So it's a lot. Oh, I just didn't want to talk about the other ones because they're like a lot less like specific. And also still very kind of rumored because we don't know anything about like
and like at that point it's almost as if you're doing it with like rich families, which is another reason for that.
Essentially we would be going through all idols who have rich parents, which is spoiler alert, most of them.
A lot. So a lot of them. Too many. The one specific example I know of is that one of the Stacy members has specifically a singer father.
Yes.
I forget his
name. She does. I don't remember who.
But yeah, one of them has a singer father, like specifically there. But I don't. They're not nothing of the same company, not even the same genre of music. It's all like very vague there.
All right, we're gonna end up the tier with our favorite TS Entertainment. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lawsuits against TS Entertainment, so we're gonna round robin them.
If you didn't know that
no one wants to do all of them.
By the way, guys, TS means Total Shithead Entertainment.
Total Shithead Entertainment.
Because seriously,
also,
this company fucking sucks.
Also, not to get all the way to the end, but spoiler alert, TS Entertainment no longer now exists. They're one of the few entertainment companies I think I've ever heard of that has officially not even been absorbed into another one, just closed.
They've been closed as of January of 2021. They shut down officially.
Thank God.
Yep.
So they can't hurt anybody anymore. The evil has been defeated.
They've been defeated. I mean, it's shocking that they were allowed, that they carried on as long as they did with the amount of lawsuits. That they had very similar lawsuits against them from all of these people, too. So clearly,
which is
they were doing the same thing wrong over and over again.
Which is pretty telling.
Yep.
That's all I gotta say.
First off, we're gonna start with BAP, which is the one that started it all. So on November 27, 2014, the 6 members of BAP collectively filed a lawsuit against TS Entertainment in order to nullify their contracts. They claimed unfair conditions and profit distribution. The following day, TS issued a press release refuting the claims that they made, stating that there have been neither such maltreatments to the artist nor unfair clauses in the contract. And then in August 1st of 2015, so almost an entire year later, BAP returned to TS Entertainment because they had reached a settlement. I like to say that this lawsuit happened at like the peak of BAP's career, so them filing this lawsuit and then going MIA for over a year, like really just halted any growth that they had.
Destroyed it. Because like at the time, from what I remember about this lawsuit, is that this lawsuit absolutely, one, it was entirely valid because BAP was so popular at the time.
Yep.
They were massive. They were sort of on the forefront of that like rap focused K-pop that everybody was like falling in love with. And then immediately they were making I think they said they were making like $2,000 like to be split between them.
Yeah.
Which is insane. And they were making so much money. They did so well.
They were not making nearly enough money for as well as they were doing as a group, for sure. Apparently they were able to like figure it out with TS, which honestly I think that was more so of BAP saying we can't get our contracts nullified, so I guess we're just gonna have to stick it out here because otherwise we're gonna sit here doing nothing and our career is just gonna fade into oblivion. So
yeah, I think that they sort of had to stick around.
I don't think
as
that was
opposed to
them reaching a settlement.
wanting
I
to
think
stick
that
around.
was them BAP saying we want to make music again, so we'll just stick it out for a little bit longer.
But I do think they did end up actually making some money.
They might have
I
made
think
more
they got
money,
they
but they
definitely
were
got
just like,
better
listen.
conditions. They
They
definitely
got
got better
better
conditions,
conditions.
but I don't think it
I don't
was
know
what
if
they.
they-
I don't think it was as much as what they wanted, but it was
No.
better.
No.
I also don't think they got to leave, which might have been what they
No.
really wanted.
Essentially, because
Yeah.
after all that happened, it was essentially BAP members just immediately leaving once their contracts were up.
Once the contract was
Yeah.
over, that group
Immediately
was
left,
dead.
which is like
It was
honestly,
dead.
I get it. It's fair.
Oh, absolutely. The
Yeah.
other thing with that is that overall it was just they never reached their former glow. Like they didn't even, it's not that they didn't get more popular. They never got as popular as they were originally.
I know. It's sad. It's such a
That
sad.
is sad.
It's so
sad.
They were
Yeah.
so
They
good
were so
too.
good.
And like this was really TS showing that like, oh shit, they don't know what to do with a good group, much less a group that's not making money.
Mhm.
Speaking of fucking up another good group, they also had another lawsuit with members Jiyeon and Hyosun from Secret. And this, on February 28, 2018, it was reported that Jiyeon and Hyosun had legal disputes with TS Entertainment. And then in 2017, Jiyeon submitted the request for the Korean commercial arbitration board, and then following this, she announces her departure from Secret in the company, blah blah blah. And then on March 5th of 2018, Kyo-sun was the first to file a civil lawsuit in order to terminate from her contract in her NTS Entertainment, and she later also announced her departure from Secret. If it's essentially it ended Secret as a whole because two of its big members left, but also again continuing the threat of TS Entertainment treating artists poorly also extends to their only other super big group. The
The running themes of TS Entertainment is refusing contract termination and treating their art not giving proper
Treating their artists like
compensations
shit.
to the artist. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's how TS Entertainment had to make money. They just took all of the money.
Mhm.
So now for another one is that in September 14th of 2019, this lawsuits are starting to get more and more common now.
Yep. We're gonna hit a
It
bunch
was-
of them in 1 year.
All in 1 year. It was revealed that Sleepy of the duo Untouchable had filed the lawsuit to terminate his contract with TS Entertainment, citing lack of trust after they refused to show him payment documents and a physical copy of his contract. Sleepy also said that
Red
he
flag.
did not receive any payment for his activities until 10 years after his contract was signed. TS later denied these statements, saying that all of his claims were false and he embezzled funds from the company, which he later denied. The next day it was announced that TS was forwarded to prosecution for overdue payments of artists. So this is really where it starts to get the law involved.
I'm pretty
the greater
sure
law.
Sleepy also had a bunch of interviews saying about how he was given a dorm to live in by the company that was just absolutely
Falling
in
apart?
shit condition and falling apart. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. This all tracks for TS Entertainment.
Tracks. We're doing
Just
the
don't.
same thing
if
over
you
and
don't-
over
shithead,
again.
total shithead
If you don't
entertainment.
pay anybody, you get to keep all the money.
Mhm.
Exactly.
That's, I think, the TS model.
Yes, TS model
That
is
is
do
a
not
total
don't pay
shithead
your
way.
artists.
Keep all the money away from the artists that you have.
Exactly. Just keep all the money and you can continue. Because, mind you, once all these lawsuits coming out, we also get the fun added things of actual workers of TS Entertainment.
Yes.
Just the mundane people that do makeup and hair and wardrobe being
We're
Like,
also not being
we're also not
paid
getting
by
paid.
TS
They were getting
Entertainment.
paid when they got to keep all the money. They were paying those people. But now just no one's getting paid
Yep.
at all.
Because I think TS Entertainment is going into debt
Bleeding
now.
money.
Yeah.
They're bleeding money at this point.
Yep. Next scandal. It's we're gonna hit. This is spoiler words. We're gonna hit every single group under TS Entertainment.
All of them. We're going down the line.
Next, we got Sonamu. On September 23rd, 2019, it was announced that Sumin and Nahyun of Sonamu were filing a lawsuit against TS Entertainment to terminate their contracts after the company failed to end their contracts after they sent certifications to TS Entertainment. TS then said on the same day that the two members had suddenly cut contact with the company and the group after they sent their request to have their contracts terminated. And also continued that Sonamu would still continue as a 5-member group.
Because, like, that's funny, because, like, the company doesn't exist anymore, which means...
The company is falling apart.
The company is falling apart. The horrible thing is that all of their contracts with their artists are still valid, even though the company doesn't exist anymore. So as of, like, I know this
sucks.
year, 2 members of Tracing were still under contract with TS Entertainment until this year. And they
Which I think also means that they can't.
They couldn't do anything. They were just sitting around doing nothing because they're under contract with this company that doesn't exist anymore. But their contracts are still valid because TS Entertainment apparently never was able to officially nullify anyone's contracts. They don't exist.
They probably didn't care to.
Nope.
And, like, also, like, if you're even going to prosecute to have your contract terminated, who are you gonna do it to?
So,
everyone's gone.
And so that's like the shitty thing that happened to a bunch of members of Sonamu and to Tracing is that all of them are just sitting around waiting for their contracts to expire because TS never terminated any of them.
I mean, if I was anyone of that were members of Tracing, I would just automatically at that point just be like, okay, if there's 2 years left, let's go into the military. Let's go.
Yeah, a lot of them are very young, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just do that now at this point because you can't really do much else in the entertainment industry.
I also don't know if they want to do anything else in the entertainment industry after everything.
At that point, just get your military service done because they can't stop you from doing that. So that if it helps, you know, kill some of your contract time off. But anyway,
yeah, but who knows if they even want to be idols anymore after everything?
Probably not. But either way, if it gets you preventing you from being stuck on a contract while you're doing something else that's, you know, what you have to do legally.
Tracing didn't get out of their contract until March 28th of this year. So, like, they were
wonderful.
stuck there until then. I just looked it up. It's, like, actually so sad.
But speaking of Tracing, November 4th,
now we get to their lawsuit.
2 members, Woo Yup and Taesun, sent a certification of contents to terminate their contracts with TS Entertainment, while also filing a criminal complaint against TS Entertainment, accusing the company executives and employees of child abuse, criminal battery, and extortion. They allege that they were forced to practice choreography from 5 p.m. until 5 a.m. Holy shit. Only to have to work again at 10 a.m. Jeez, that sucks. While under the age of 18, they allegedly were forced to live in a dorm with no proper meals provided with the dorm, also allegedly having problems with electricity often being cut out, and broken air conditioners, plumbing, and water purifying systems. Woo Yup also alleged that he was once beaten by using a metal chair by Yoon, the head of Tracing's choreography team. And Taesun also alleged that he was regularly beaten from the moment he became a trainee. Yikes.
Oh boy.
So they're actually getting
TS on the child abuse too, apparently.
Just right at the end, right at the last minute, we're adding child abuse to the list of crimes.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Also a huge
This was a child abuse filled episode, wasn't
apparently,
it?
That's all him ended up. Yeah, and this, like, these, like, Tracing's, like, complaints about the dorms being absolute garbage was the dorms that all of their artists were living in. So that is, Sleepy, I know, mentioned it. I'm pretty sure the members of Sonamu mentioned that, but it's, like, it's just, like, bad from every aspect of this
Every
company.
angle?
Every angle.
It's just so bad.
So bad.
I don't even know what to say about TS anymore. We have a TS episode, don't we?
I
just like how on Wikipedia. I like how on Wikipedia it just says the company.
Oh no, we got rid of that because we had all.
Oh, I thought it was.
Yep.
I thought it said mismanaging. Damn it! It didn't say mismanaging. Okay, I almost thought it said for mismanaging idol groups. Such a. Oh, that'd be funny if that said that on Wikipedia.
It's just so
like
TS Entertainment
positive
sucks.
thing to say, and there is none.
It's just
There's
bad.
Literally
it's
none.
so bad from like just so,
from beginning to end. It's just so bad.
end. It's like we've talked about companies that we think are like pretty shit on like company reviews. It's like we're not gonna get worse than TS Entertainment.
God no.
But that finishes up tier 4 of the Scandal Iceberg.
Woo!
We are now officially halfway done with the iceberg. Hooray.
Hooray.
Yay!
I think the scandals definitely get more ridiculous the farther we get down the iceberg.
Oh, they do.
So
They do. This might be the last, like, really sad one. I say
I feel
that
like
every
we've
time,
said that every
but-
time.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, but, like, we hope.
We hope.
To be honest, we made the iceberg so long ago that I don't remember what's on the... Oh, what's the next one? Oh, the next one is fine. The next one is
The next
fine.
one's got some like really just
The next
stupid
one's got
ones
some
on
fun
it.
stuff.
Yeah, we don't get to
The next one
Alpaca
has-
Gate till tier 6, so I think that's when it's
Oh.
No, but
We don't get to see
But the
all
next one
packaging
involves-
yet.
an attempted murder
we do have an attempted.
and an attempted kidnapping.
We do. Both of those things are on the next tier. A lot of DUIs as well on the next tier.
A lot of DUIs. We'll get there.
Yep. There's just a little tease for tier 5 of the scandal iceberg.
Exactly.
Yep, more scandals to come.
Yep.
There's always more scandals to come.
We are available on all major podcasting platforms like Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you're listening to us on a place where you can leave a review, please leave us a review if you like the podcast. We are also on YouTube, where we post all of our episodes along with a extra clip video every week as well. And the episodes sometimes have fun visuals if there's anything that need to have visuals. That can be also fun to watch too.
Yeah. If you want to see the iceberg.
If you want to see the
Go to
actual
YouTube.
iceberg, yeah. Exactly. Then you can be spoiled for the whole thing. Or if you want to, if you are
Exactly.
curious to see it, it is also in episode tier 1. So you can go pause that there, see what the entire iceberg is. So,
Yay.
hooray. And with that, we will see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.